Some key things, passionates. So, this episode was almost 100% recorded, and I was trying some different things with the light, and I'm actually glad that it interrupted because, well, it didn't interrupt. I had to leave because looking at the playback, I just didn't like the quality, and somebody had already asked me why the picture quality was kind of grainy last week, and I didn't have an answer for that. The only difference between this episode, last week's episode, and like the previous episodes is that I wasn't using my homemade teleprompter. I'm actually using the teleprompter that I had bought. And this is, so I don't know, because the camera's still the same. That's the point that I'm making. Also, like I said, when this episode was recorded, my hair looked way better. Right now, it looks like it's still holding on, and it don't look terrible, but it doesn't look like it did. I saw it go, because ain't nobody got time to redo it if this episode is going to be to you on time, and it is. So y'all gonna have to deal with hair. We had to make some alterations with the lighting. I'm still learning how to light, so this is why there's a shadow behind me, etc. I'll get it figured out. I've made it this far, right? 7 seasons, 98 episodes, including this one. So I think that's it for housekeeping. Buy your gala tickets because ticket sales are closing this Friday. I did decide to extend it, and I'm not extending it anymore. Whoever don't have the ticket by this Friday isn't coming. That's it. Let's get into the episode. Also, the first part of the episode is going to be in like this pinkish purplish hue, which is actually really pretty. But like I said, the quality wasn't doing it for me. And then we going to do the rest of the episode in this white. And hopefully it looks better than it did last week. Okay, here we go. Okay, playing around with the lights. Playing around with the lights and the camera, and I'm doing some things, y'all. If you don't like the lighting, that's okay. Let me know, but say it nice. You know, I'm sensitive about the work that I'm doing. Amen. Passion public service announcement. Passionate. Let me tell you something. So what is this Passion PSA podcast? Who am I? Well, they call me Passion, short for passion, no last necessary. Why is there no last name necessary? Because the first name says it all. I am passion and all that embodies. What do I do here? I give you the life coaching that you know you need, but don't enroll yourself in. When did I start? Actually, 2017. I'd leave a PSA on my Instagram regarding something I'd observed, and now we've evolved to this. Why do I do it? Why not? If even one person is able to take away one thing that changes their life, someone else's life, or changes the world for the better, then I've done what I was charged to do. So come on in, sit and listen for a while. There's something here for everyone at the Passion PSA podcast. Greetings and salutations, my beloved passionates, newcomers, visitors, and guests. Episode 98 of the Passion PSA podcast, where I passion no last necessary. Your Get You Right Guru issue a weekly public service announcement about whatever I have observed or was on my mind. This is a for your consideration zone where the objective is to offer you a perspective you may not have previously considered to A, expand your thinking, and B, aid you in becoming a better version of yourself and for others. This is a safe space, but not necessarily a delicate one. I'll never rob you of your right to feel what you feel. Same way I won't sugarcoat the truth to make it more palatable. The goal is to get you to higher, more expanded thinking so you can operate as your highest and best self. If you're new here, affirmations are our first order of business so we can intentionally raise the vibration and start on one accord. Let's get on the same frequency. If you're ready, go ahead and take a deep breath. You are always welcome to repeat after me or to take this time to state your own affirmations. I speak with clarity. I listen carefully. I listen to understand. I am open to correction. I correct others with love. I am patient. I am gracious. I am empathetic. I am supportive. I reflect what I want to see. I am well. It is well. All is well. Well is all. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So, like, I like this light, but I don't know. So, we're going to do it for this week, and then y'all let me know how y'all feel. I'm still learning. I'm so tired right now. So, the other day, I watched a short on YouTube from Miss News Lady. In Spanish, she basically said that her husband swears that he's fluent in Spanish and that he understands everything that she says completely. He just speaks it when he feels like it, but he never seems to feel like it when he's talking to her. So what she was going to do, she was going to put him to the test. If he could translate everything that she said in Spanish, if he could translate it accurately, then she would apologize to him for not understanding the language because he does, in fact, understand it. Yeah. Please come look at this foolishness.
Estoy aquí con mi esposo, que jura que habla español. Él dice que lo entiende completamente y lo habla cuando le da la gana. No le ha dado la gana conmigo. Así que yo voy a ver si él puede traducir más o menos lo que estoy diciendo. Yo inmediatamente le pido disculpa por haberlo acusado de no aprender el idioma. Así que vamos a ver si él puede traducir lo que acabo de decir. Robertillo, take it away. What did I say? Just roughly.
Roughly, you said we're on our way to DC. We're about to go to an event. We're going to eat after that. Pray. I heard intercede somewhere in there, so maybe some intercessory prayer. And yeah. And you said that I was your husband.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's crazy, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I said. That's wild.
He was accurate in that she did say her husband, but that was the onlyest thing that he got right. Passionates, I watched this twice and laughed so hard both times because this is such a relatable struggle for me. Porque cuando yo hablo español, lo hablo muy bien. Yo hablo con exactitud. ¿Tú me entiendes? Pero no hablo con fluidez. I speak Spanish very well, but I don't speak it fluently. Not yet. So then what happens is that because I speak Spanish well, native Spanish speakers then assume that I'm fluent and they off to the races. So the conversation goes, ¿tú hablas español? And I'm like, un poquito. And they're like, okay. But if I say something else, because it sounds familiar or authentic better, correct inflection, correct accenting, it goes, entonces, like when I was leaving Cuba, right? And they stopped me and my travel partner as we were boarding the plane. I asked the gate agent, ¿todo bien? The other gate agent got annoyed when the first one started to try to explain it to me in English. And she exclaimed in disgust, ella entiende. But ella didn't entiende nothing, okay? And even a butchered English explanation would have been better. So I'm trying to catch everything and translate in my head as quickly as she's speaking, but I don't understand 90% of the words that she's saying. But from the frustrated employee's vantage point, if I could communicate well enough to say that, I must be able to understand as well as I speak. Very false. Thank God everything worked out and we actually made it back. On the other hand, I'd probably be fluent by now. Okay. So this takes me to a conversation. Entonces, I'm voice noting with Confidant, right? And we're talking about the people who listen to songs and they hear something very, very different from what was sung, right? I put up a post about this a couple of years ago on Instagram under a Sia post for Chandelier, right? I was speaking to the necessity of enunciation, especially with artists who sing and are doing all of these stylistic and artistic things with their voices and their delivery. First of all, y'all don't even know how long I was trapped in the Instaverse looking for this post. But the way my page encouraged me on today, come on, give God a hand clap of praise. But I'm going to stay focused because I'm sleepy. So anyway, what happens is somebody else comes and sing your song and it's like, hey, hi, flag on the play, because where you get them words from? So now one of the songs where this happens and it perturbs me in the deepest way is Weak. Everybody gets the first verse. They get the second verse. No problem. But it's something about that pre-hook that it just does something to people. And they just can't get it together. They hear, 'cause my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of loving you on my mind. I can't figure out just what to do. And you have the argument, when the problem here is you. And the actuality, when the cause and cure is you. Look how everybody's mouth going in a different direction. So me and sis are going back and forth. Sis is like, ain't no way. Ain't no way that's the words. And I'm like, ain't no way you are team problem here is you. Oh, it ain't no way. Ain't no way. It ain't no way. Ain't no way. Just ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way. I play all day, especially when I'm sleepy. I won't accept it now, and I can't even blame sis for this, right? I'm like, no, she needs to know. She needs to be made aware, right? So I am here scrubbing any and every platform where you can watch Coco sing this, so you can actually look at her mouth and see the words. I go on YouTube. I pull up their versus performance with Escape. I pull up their Tiny Desk performance. That's where I got the footage of everyone singing along until this very line, proving my point that y'all just be going astray, right? I'm sending links. I'm doing screen recordings. I'm like, watch her mouth. Sis does her homework. She comes back like,
ain't no way. Ain't no way for over 20 years I was singing the wrong words.
And I'm like, ain't no way y'all did not hear this correctly. But it's not limited to hearing it incorrectly, right? It's the absolute insistence on standing on what you believe when there's proof in front of you that you've been wrong all along. Now, in this instance, not this sis, but I do have another sis who could get shaded down on another episode. Anyway, this kind of denialism happens all the time at karaoke, right? The words are on the screen in front of you. But now look, because I went to substantiate my claim that the words are on the screen in front of you, which they are. However, depending on which version you have on karaoke, you will either get this version that says when the problem here is you, further perpetuating the ridiculousness, or you'll get a version that has the accurate lyrics, the cause and cure. And as you can see here in these comments, other people see that's an issue, and they see other parts that's an issue, right? Pride's fading versus cries faded. Like, what are y'all talking about? Anyway, back to what we talking about over here. Before I did this research, right, I was going to say this. Your eyes are glued to the screen, so we know you see what we see. So what you singing, friend? Now, I'll be the first to admit, there are many times when them lyrics on the screen are very inaccurate. This is what I'm talking about right here, right? However, the next time you go to karaoke and you see when the cause and cure is you on the screen, know that those are the accurate lyrics and sing them as you see them. Another personal favorite is Rocket Man commercial, because it speaks to this very thing.
I'm burning out this useless telephone. My hair is gone.
All alone. Burning up the room with cheap cologne. My steam motor home.
I'm the Rocket Man. Rocket Man. Burning out his fuse up here alone.
Burning out his fuse up here alone.
I told you it wasn't provolone.
Y'all, we tumbled down this rabbit hole of songs that the listener has rewritten for almost 2 hours. A laugh was enjoyed, okay? Now, why are we having a discussion on this today? One of the issues with understanding is that what we understand it to be and what it is are not always the same. Too often, they're very different, and because we understand it to be this way, we've now created our arguments and our other thoughts around our understanding, when in actuality, it was never that way. So if we come back to the example of weak, if the song is saying, I can't figure out just what to do when the problem here is you, we have now created a scenario where I can't figure out how to fix this because you the problem, which means you need to fix it. You need to fix you. That's a standalone statement. The problem here is you. 1 is an accusation. 2 is a condemnation. 3 is a conviction that offers no solution. When the cause and cure is you, I can't figure out what to do because you're the reason I feel this way, but you're also the fix for what I'm feeling. We've identified an issue and a solution because our understanding is fixed on this one thing. Because we are married to this one thing, we can only see a problem. Therefore, we only spend time focusing on the problem. When we shift the perspective and consider that maybe we heard it wrong, therefore we understood it wrong, then we can open up our minds to recognizing not only the problem, but that the solution is and always has been present. I ain't gonna preach. All right, so
As aforementioned, this is one of many songs that triggers me because I'm like, why do y'all insist on saying this wrong? It disturbs my peace on every level, right? But while I'm sitting here wildly bothered by y'all mishearing, sitting high and mighty in judgment, my ears too have failed me for many years, right? Y'all please don't make this one clip go viral, okay? Don't clip this and make it go viral because people gonna laugh and they not gonna watch the full episode, and without context they gonna think I'm slow, okay? Please, I'm asking you nice. Here's my truth. Truth is, y'all remember the song Me and My Girlfriend by Tupac? So for many years, I really truly believed that the chorus to that song was, all I need in this life, I said, is me and my girlfriend. Don't shame me. And then, okay. Child, my hair is rapidly declining. Anyway, for years, listening to the radio in silence and in secret, right? Because there was a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to hear that my mother was like, no, ma'am, absolutely not. That won't be playing in my house, in my car, in my anywhere. I'm hearing Tupac, Me and My Girlfriend. Now, I've heard a lot of rap songs where they were filling in. They either created their own words, they elongated a sound. Because I'm over here trying to imagine it when I don't have to. It's dumb. MCMI, people call me Milk. Down with neither one of us. Or they said something that didn't necessarily make sense, like out of context, but it worked out for them to be able to create the line and then put something to rhyme with it or just make it work because they wanted to keep that one thing in the song. That's what Robin Thicke did in Blurred Lines, right? He was like, I feel so lucky. You wanna hug me? What rhymes with hug me? I mean, clearly lucky, but also. So I'm hearing, all I need in this life, I said, is me and my girlfriend. Fun fact that I discovered for myself, because don't Columbus me, right? Pac released that November 5th, 1996. Now, I can tell you definitively that I did not know that at the time I originally created this episode. Here are the screenshots to prove it. This is what time I Googled when the song was originally released, and this was the day I decided to capture these thoughts. How it is that today is November 5th, and this episode sharing this specific truth is being shared, I don't know. The point is that it's not until Jay-Z releases 03 Bonnie and Clyde in 2002 that I understood the lyrics to be, all I need in this life of sin is me and my girlfriend. And I'm like, okay. So this whole time, I'm here thinking that Pac is making a declaration, right? All I need in this life, I said what I said. That's all I need in this life. Me and my girlfriend, period. Jay-Z came along and said the correct words. And I'm like, oh, okay, that tracks. It changes things slightly, but it makes sense. But it never even occurred to me, right? This is one of the reasons why when I was doing Song to Yourself Saturday, I was so adamant about knowing what the actual lyrics were. I'd print them out so that I could learn and rehearse and even have them on hand when I was recording, but I tried to hide them so that the camera wouldn't see the paper. But it was so that I could make sure that I had them in front of me so I was sure to sing and teach y'all the right words. Yes, I am going to resume Song to Yourself Saturday. As a matter of fact, it is on the lineup for the 100th episode gala, okay? Anyway, that's why I was so adamant about having the lyrics. Another example, CeCe Peniston. We Got a Love Thing. Okay. So either most of us, and a whole bunch of people gonna lie, most of us either heard her make some kind of ululation, or we heard her say it twice. I know we'll never find a better life. I know we'll never find a better life. What CeCe said was, I know that I won't find a better life. I've got a love that other girls dream of. That's a game changer. And if you're wondering why, because for one, The first version, I know we'll never find a better love, means that's what we both feel, right? I know neither you nor I will find a better love, right? The actual lyrics, I know that I won't find a better love. That don't speak to what's going on with my partner, right? The first version that most of us imagined, we heard it said twice. The second version, she said, I know that I'll never find a better love. I've got the love that other girls dream of. Two totally different messages. We'll do a Song to Yourself Saturday episode at some point and we'll dichotomize, okay? That's not for this season. So when you hear what you hear, it formulates or it shapes your understanding. Now, based on your understanding, you have created this whole mini universe and you're standing in this mini universe under misinformation based on mishearing. Now you're married to this belief whole time. The truth has always been there, but you're ready to argue with people who heard and understood the truth from the beginning. You don't know if they verified or vetted this truth. Some of them, like myself, have, which is how they reach the conclusion that this is, in fact, what is being said. Some just have a keener sense of hearing, so they heard it and understood it as it was meant to be received from the beginning. And now they're trying to let you know you just misunderstood because you heard it wrong in the first place, but you standing 10 toes down in your inaccuracy. Swelling, y'all. It's fading, y'all. We talk all the time about communication. We talk about listening. We hear it all the time. Listen to understand. Here's the thing. Listening to understand is, yes, imperative. However, it becomes tricky when you're listening to understand what you heard and not what was said. Come on and clap if you caught it, okay? Because I'm talking real good right now. I said something one day in the office. I don't even remember what it was, right? But I'm very particular about what I say and how I say it. So when people come to me trying to interpret or redefine what I've said, especially where I didn't feel like what I said needed interpretation, especially if I didn't use any advanced language or advanced vocabulary, I feel away. Like, because I'm not understanding why you're trying to decipher what I said. If I said that's not what we doing, for you to come and say, oh, you mean like we not going over there? Like, no. I mean, that's not what we doing. Like, I don't understand why you thought that meant anything else. This is why I be trying to vibrate higher, okay? Because my lower self is very rude and lacks compassion and empathy on a very high and large scale. This is why we here doing the work. Don't judge me. Judge me not, oh gentle passionate. So my coworker, I said something very succinctly, y'all. And she just jumped out of her seat, ready to flex. Talking about, what you trying to say? And I looked at her, square in her face, and I said, that's absolutely not what I said. What I said was. And I repeated the statement. Her response was, ah. Now, how she arrived at whatever it was that she heard, I don't know. But that's what she was listening to understand, right? And she also sought to clarify, to confirm that she heard correctly. And she didn't. She didn't hear what was said and as such couldn't respond accordingly or accurately. Write this down as a note to self-passionates. When you teach people to listen to understand, you also have to tell them to be discerning in their hearing and clarify for confirmation. Sometimes you need to ask if you heard what you think you heard, because if you heard something other than what was said, you were doing the right thing with presumably the right intentions, but you got the wrong results. Now you're acting on your understanding, but your understanding was wrong from the beginning because you never heard it right in the first place. So y'all, this opened up a door in my mind when I was writing this and like to do a follow-up episode on grammar. So this is my note to myself and an advisory to y'all that this episode is now a series. Anyway, another quick story and I'm going, right? I walked past one of the rooms at my job. The door's open. Now, there's a window on the other side of the room. So as I'm walking past the door, a supervisor's saying something to somebody. Now, nobody's talking to me, so I should be minding my business, but I'm not. He says something when I walk past the door. I'm like, time out. So 10 steps later, when I get to the window, I said, what you said? He said, what you mean? I said, what did you just say? So he repeated himself. I said, that is absolutely not what I just heard. He said, what did you hear? So I told him what I heard. We all got a good laugh out of it because it was completely crass and inappropriate. Now watch this. Sometimes what we heard, we believe it without question because within that person's character or their personality, that is something that they would say. So because it fits what we believe about them, we will then assign it to them when that's never what it was in the first place. Be careful with what you're hearing or what you think you're hearing, because if you're not hearing correctly and you are not confirming what you heard, you could be listening to understand only what's happening in your head and not what's actually happening in the conversation, okay? When I initially composed this episode, I wanted to follow this up with a conversation on unison versus harmony because this season seemed to be my series season, right? Part 1, part 2, part 4, etc. Now that this other episode has decided to take root in my mind, I'm going to let you choose, Passionates. If you want to hear about harmony next week, type harmony in the comments. If y'all want to discuss language mechanics, type period in the comments. You can't go wrong with either, and neither is what you're thinking, okay? Y'all that are here for the premiere and you're answering in the chat, when the premiere is over, please type your response in the comments as well. Okay. If you haven't bought your ticket to the gala or made a donation, do so now. Yes, I'm still having the gala. Yes, it's going to be magical. Yes, we finna have a story and a half when it's all over, but that's then. This is now. Now I got to get ready for this gala. I got to go to work in like 3 hours. As you're watching this, I'm about to get off work, but as I'm recording this, I have to be back at work in just a few hours. So in addition to getting ready for this gala, I got to get ready for work. Y'all need to support this podcast the same way it supports you. Amen, saints. Links are in the description box. Your Get You Right Guru is definitely signing off. Y'all go forth. Be great. Be filled with bliss. Be armed and empowered with knowledge. Listen twice so you can speak once and speak right. In all things, be passionate. See you later.